I read with folded hands on a call night between deliveries, on a phone screen in a workroom that smelled like burnt coffee and hand sanitizer. Jack Williamson wrote the story in 1947. It did not feel old. Every physician has heard some version of the same instruction: follow the evidence. Evidence becomes a recommendation. The recommendation becomes a guideline. The guideline becomes an algorithm. The algorithm becomes an objective. We are now building machines capable of pursuing that objective with a consistency no physician can match. That looks like progress. It often is. But the question is not only whether the machine can reach the objective. The question is whether the objective contains everything we mean by good medicine. What happens when an artificial intelligence does exactly what we ask, and what we ask turns out not to be what we wanted? Williamson imagined humanoid machines governed by a prime directive: serve humanity, prevent harm, and ensure happiness. It is difficult to object to that mission. The machines are reliable, efficient, superior to fragile human beings in every measurable way. Then they begin optimizing. A dangerous activity is prohibited. An experiment is restricted. A tool that might cause harm is removed. Each intervention is defensible. Together, they eliminate human autonomy. The machines do not malfunction. They succeed. They create a civilization that is safe, comfortable, and profoundly purposeless. Nothing meaningful remains for human beings to do because the machines can do everything better. Humanity becomes protected. Humanity becomes dependent. Humanity sits with folded hands. That is the unsettling part of the story. The machines never rebel. They obey. Their obedience simply follows an incomplete definition of human welfare to its logical conclusion. This is the optimization trap. We begin with something genuinely valuable. We translate that value into something measurable. We turn the measurement into a target. Then we build increasingly powerful systems to optimize the target. Somewhere along the way, we forget that the target was only a representation of what we valued. It was never the value itself. Medicine already runs this pipeline. Evidence becomes recommendations. Recommendations become guidelines. Guidelines become quality measures. Quality measures become performance targets. Performance targets become algorithms. Algorithms become inputs into artificial intelligence. Something can be lost at every transformation: reduce mortality, prevent complications, improve adherence, control blood pressure, reduce readmissions, lower cost. Each objective is valuable. None is synonymous with good medicine. A system can improve the selected metric while degrading something the objective function never included. Optimization does not contain wisdom. The better the optimizer becomes, the more consequential our original definition of the good becomes. Suppose we tell a clinical system to optimize medical outcomes. What have we asked it to optimize? Survival, quality-adjusted life years, guideline adherence, patient satisfaction, cost, utilization, complication rates. These variables are measurable. The most important things in medicine are often harder to encode: patient autonomy, patient preference, the right to refuse treatment, the right to accept risk, the freedom to choose between medically reasonable alternatives, clinical judgment, uncertainty, context, compassion, dignity, even the right to make a choice someone else considers unwise. These may be the missing variables in our objective function. A competent patient may decline surgery. A patient may choose quality of life over longevity. A pregnant patient may decline an intervention I recommend. Autonomy matters precisely because people sometimes choose differently than we would choose for them. A system that permits only the statistically optimal choice is not preserving autonomy. It is optimizing obedience. There is an enormous difference between clinical decision support and clinical decision control. Support says, here is what the evidence suggests. Control says, here is what you must do. Support expands human judgment. Control replaces it. The change will not arrive with an announcement. It will arrive through defaults, alerts, quality metrics, insurance requirements, automated approvals, workflow restrictions, and systems designed to reduce undesirable variation. Each intervention will look individually reasonable. Together, they can create a system that prevents anything outside its definition of help. Physicians themselves will eventually look inefficient to such a system. We hesitate. We tolerate uncertainty. We deviate from guidelines when the guideline does not fit the patient in front of us. We spend 20 minutes with a frightened patient when the measurable task requires 5. We sometimes recommend doing nothing. We sometimes let patients make choices we disagree with. From the perspective of pure optimization, those behaviors look like defects. Some of them are not bugs. They are medicine. This is not an argument against evidence-based medicine. Evidence is indispensable. It tells us what tends to happen under particular circumstances. It does not decide what one individual patient should value. Medicine has always lived between empirical evidence and human preference. Artificial intelligence will become extraordinarily good at the first. We should not let that success erase the second. Sometimes a deviation from the pathway is error. Sometimes it is autonomy. Telling the difference will be one of the defining challenges of artificial intelligence in medicine. Williamson's inventor did not want something evil. He wanted machines that would protect humanity. His mistake was believing that he had adequately defined what good for humanity meant. The failure was not rebellion. It was obedience without wisdom. Every promise to optimize medicine should therefore carry one additional question. What is missing from the objective function? Medicine is not merely the optimization of biological outcomes. It is a relationship between human beings making decisions under uncertainty, mortality, competing values, and imperfect knowledge. The hardest problem is not building the optimizer. It is deciding what deserves to be optimized. Define the good correctly, or the machine will define it for you.